to the Most High in Christ. We're going to talk about several things here. We're going to talk about what is the law, what is the law of the land, uh, what jurisdiction, what is jurisdiction, what is what is a crime, okay, who has the authority, what is an injury, okay. So let's go ahead and look at this.
That just got sickening.
Well, the cops came, and apparently when they were talking to her and him separately, she says, I can definitely provide footage of him assaulting me if possible. So this is 16 minutes. I'm not going to play this whole thing. I just want to play.
Under arrest right now? What am I under? What am I under arrest for? Christian, are you serious right now? Okay. I didn't assault him though.
We have video cameras.
I literally we were having an argument. I'm not resisting, so you don't have to work harder. Christian, are you serious right now? Christian.
Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand. We were arguing.
So that's the first thing. We're going to listen to the judge too, but that's the first thing. The police are perpetrators of fraud. They are committing a crime right now. They are descending to common citizens. Sometimes we look at them as police, we call them, but when they violate the common law, the Constitution, God's law, right? There must be an injured party, right? The state cannot be the injured party. Therefore, they cannot take charges against you. What would be their claim? First thing you need to ask them is, how were they injured? If the state of Washington, D.C. wants to file the charges and take up the case against you, then they must show their injury. That's Constitution law. You must show injury. Anybody that's not injured cannot walk up and say, hey, I want to have you locked up for injuring me. Well, you got to file an affidavit explaining, describing your injury, and describing how the person who you are accusing injured you. You got to describe the injury and show how this person is responsible for your injury. As simple as that, right? And not only that, you have to stand as a living person and stand before the person you are accusing and give them a chance to rebuttal you. And another thing, I'm just going to hit you with all of it at one time. You can look it up. No third party can take your place standing in front of the injured party and say how they heard you, or they saw, or it was told to them how you injured them. First place, that's hearsay. The next thing, you can't say, I want to file charges against so-and-so because I saw them injure these people. You can't file charges. If the person is living, they have to describe how. They can use a witness, but they still got to come to court and describe how they were injured. Because how can we trust a witness? And, unless the person, we know if you kill somebody and somebody saw you, yeah, that's different. You injure somebody and they can't talk, it's a baby or somebody, and somebody saw you, they just can't come and stand before the court and say, yeah, I saw it. No, they have to have other proof. That's your word against them. They wasn't injured. Okay, so we're going to listen to the judge, because you should know that, and you shouldn't argue with the police like she did. All she had to do is explain to them that she was going to sue them personally because they are violating her constitutional right, because the state is the state is not a living person. Only a living person can file charges against you for the injuries you caused them. Okay? Let's listen.
Understand entirely.
Can you stop that right here? Can you stop that? See, she's belaboring under a misconception in America
You hear that? Now say we're gonna let him say that again.
Can you stop that? See, she's belaboring under a common misconception in America. She thinks he can control what happens to have the state or
Literally we were having an argument. I'm not saying we were arguing.
Watch this.
misconception in America. She thinks he can control what happens to her. He can't.
Yes, he can. Like I said, he's the only one can control because they are claiming that he's the injured party, and he's saying I wasn't injured. You know, okay, I just explained it to you. Watch the judge again.
See, when you have the state or law enforcement involved, you have a big entity that represents.
The law enforcement gained their power from the people. The people, they can't go above the people. Right now, that law enforcement is working for the man, the only injured party. The airport's not injured. The people who were standing around is not injured. They have to prove that them seeing her push him injured them. Can you think they can prove that? What are they going to prove? PTSD. She pushed him and pushed him up there. I'm so injured. That's crazy. Listen to the judge. He's crazy, man. This dude is crazy.
Millions of people. And if somebody gets charged, you have the state or law enforcement involved. You have a big entity that represents millions of people. And if somebody gets...
Who gave that entity, like he said an entity, he didn't say the government, he said an entity. What's an entity? What you got to explain that to me first. What is the entity? You know, wow, what is a damn entity? See, that's that slickness that these agents are taught to use. Entity. What's a damn entity? How an entity gonna claim injury? An entity. That's a thing. It don't have life. We're going to let a third party bring a claim from somebody, from something that don't have life against you. They can stand and represent something that's not living and say, we made these laws and we put them on the bulletin board in our police, in our courtroom and in our police department, and we declare that anybody that break these laws, which are not godly laws, they didn't agree to it. They don't work for us. They're not in our organization. They didn't agree to our policy, but we're just going to do it because we got big guns. We're going to go out and put our military on the streets to these people and enforce our laws that we made up when we came to these people's land and took everything they had. Now we make the laws to tell them how we want them to act. Respectfully and with dignity. We tell them what dignity is. We tell them what respect. You better not push your boyfriend or else we're going to come out and get you. That's just like Jim Crow laws. It's back in Jim Crow era again. And we see here that this judge is pushing that false narrative. He's pushing this because he worked for him for years. They gave him $35 million to get on TV and abuse black people. And Dana, I don't know who you are. I really don't know who you are. You sometimes you are just pitiful. You're pitiful. All these money hungry YouTubers, this is the stuff we need to stop, man.
Charged with a crime for breaking the public peace.
You hear what he said? Crime? Charged with the crime because he know she did not commit a crime. That's why he switched it over, breaking the public's peace. So her pushing her boyfriend broke the public's peace. If anybody was injured with assault and battery, it was the man. When you see what I'm saying? Break the public peace. If that was a real law, then we would have Class A lawsuits going out on all the news media. They not supposed to report anything on us without our permission as a nation. They are not the sovereign in this land. We are. We were here first. Our ancestors, they stole our inheritance. Everybody in this land owed us. They broke our public peace. The hell? You broke our public peace, Judge, standing up here saying what you saying now. We should sue you. I got PTSD and you know, you responsible for it. You broke my public peace saying that stuff you saying right now. Let's listen. Broke the public peace.
Dignity and order.
Now they get to ascribe what dignity to us, what we should respect in a norm called dignity and order. They get to say, okay, that was out of order. You don't have no dignity to push that man like that. You broke my public peace. Now we gonna send our law enforcers, our slave catchers in and catch you and force you to pay a fine and put you in jail, handcuffs. We're going to kidnap you, detain you, and kidnap you. And we're going to tell him to shut up. He can't help you. Black man can't help black woman. She looked over at the black man and said, can't you do something? The judge said he can't do nothing. That's slavery. That's slavery. You got to realize, what can we do? You got to first realize that you're back in slavery or that you're still in slavery until you come back to the commandments of the Most High God and let him fight for you. All of this fake laws and stuff they got that they using against us can be broken if we come back to the laws and commandments of the Most High God. And we're going to have to, not only that, we're going to have to break out swords against these people. We know that ain't going to stop them when we tell them, hey, you know, when we deal with them in court, she's dealing with them the wrong way. She got a lawsuit for that airport because the airport Charisse, whatever your name is, little sister, the airport put them on you. So you got a lawsuit against them and the police department, right? Because they the ones that said you broke a law, you broke their public peace, and and you should be locked up. Because, you know, you don't know how to control yourself and you don't have no dignity. Let's keep watching. The judge is crazy.
It says the people of the state of New York, the people of the state of California, people of...
Okay, where are the people at? Get the injured people. Where are the damn injured people that she injured when she pushed her boyfriend? How did she injure him? They must have some kind of mental or spiritual injury, and you got to prove it. How you going to prove mental or spiritual injury when y'all don't believe in the spirit? Scientists can't see it. They can't see that injury because it was spiritual or it was mental. And so they can claim mental illness from this injury, so-called injury, this so-called lack of dignity and breaking public peace. They already can tell they've been mentally injured. They have PTSD or something from this incident. Because if they can't, then how can they claim an injury? She didn't touch nobody else but him. Let's watch.
State of Florida, of Tennessee versus. And the primary concern of the people is we don't care what your reasons are. We want conditions in public to be peaceable. We want them to be dignified, and we want them.
They want to control what you do in public if you're black. Don't drink from this water fountain. Don't gather up in crowds. Don't laugh. You better get a barrel and laugh over in that barrel because we back to that again, man. You can't be happy out here. If you happy, you breaking our public peace. Niggas, you can't celebrate, you breaking our public peace. We not happy. We don't have peace unless y'all are destroyed. This is what the judge, now y'all see who this judge is? And Dana, you too. Y'all see who these people are, man? You have a lawsuit on them, and you should also sue this judge right here. You should sue this judge, I think. Get some more legal advice, but in my eyesight, he's injuring you. He broke your public peace by putting this out here on you like this. You should sue him and Dana, I think. Now that's just me. I'm no lawyer. I'm not that kind of lawyer. I'm a godly man. I know injury. If he, by his logic, Dana didn't say anything yet, but she got him on. She hosting him on her show. You should sue him. You should sue this judge, man. You should sue this judge. He's accusing you of a crime that is not a crime. Let's keep watching.
To be orderly, so people wait in line, they show courtesies and all this other kind of thing.
So if you cut the line, you committed a crime, what he's saying. If you're not nice to people and smiling and bowing down and don't look the enemy in the eye, then you are not showing courtesy. If you walk past them or you don't move aside when they come through blocking the whole sidewalk, you get off the sidewalk and let all them come through, you're not showing courtesy. If you don't let them cut the line or talk to you any kind of way and you snap back at them, you just committed an assault, right? Based on the judge's logic. You got to give them people their white supremacy, what they call it, privilege over here. You got to give them first privilege over you. And we are the indigenous people. We are the sovereigns in this land. And he's saying we got to step aside because we know, based on the Dred Scott's case, that we are not citizens of the United States. They can force us to assimilate if we want some of our inheritance back. If we want, if we want to live, then we have to let them rule over us and give them jurisdiction over us. That's a crime right there. They broke our public peace. So he's saying these criminals and bandits and outlaws, we got to follow their UCC codes and not the Constitution, godly laws. We got to follow their local courts, and whatever the police want to do, we got to let them do it, or else we're breaking their public peace. This judge is an idiot. He's not a judge. He's just an idiot. He whenever he go against the sovereign people's whenever he go against our sovereign rights, then he descend any foreign nation come in your country and they violate the sovereign people's rights, then if they have any kind of public or any kind of legal position in our country, they descend from that position. That's the treaty between the United States and the Coppertone people, that if any of their citizens violate us, they cease from being in that position and they become common citizens and they can be deported back to where they came from, or a fine starting at $10,000 and jail time starting at 10 years when they violate our Constitution, our sovereign citizen rights. We're not their citizens. We are sovereign to this land. They have invaded us and occupied us according to international law and the law of the law agreed on by the treaties, Peace and Friendship Treaty, rights of indigenous people, human rights, and all of them say the same thing. You cannot go in a person's land because your guns are bigger, occupy them, and force them to assimilate to your laws and leave their laws. That's First Maccabee. That's what we're talking about. We're going to get back to that. No, Jacob's trouble is already here. They've already forced us to keep to be like First Maccabee, where we had to assimilate into their customs. We couldn't keep our laws. We couldn't worship our God. We couldn't keep our identity. They gave us new identities. What do you mean? That is Jacob's trouble. That is history repeating itself. So we are at that point right now. So we've been in Jacob's trouble as we try to wake up. That's the birth pains. The birth pains is every time we tried to escape the plantation and they killed our relatives and stuff. That's the birth pain. When they burned us at stakes and we had to stand around and look at it. We thought we was getting better. Civil rights movement, that's the birth pains. When they burnt the churches and sicked the dogs on us, that's the birth pains. We in Jacob's trouble. Because they had us blinded as from children, from childhood, They stole our identity. And now as God started to give us our identity back, that's delivering us from the captivity. The captivity's in your mind first. And these judges and these people out here on YouTube, they are being paid, I bet you, nicely by CIA. They're getting promoted to do what they're doing to keep us in captivity. And the Most High God is trying to wake us up, to deliver us with the birth pains, to force us back to our nationality, our true identity, our proper persona, our godly laws. And stand up and declare we're not under your jurisdiction. You are a corporation. We did not give you permission. We did not consent to you governing us. You put some so-called black-looking people out there and say, hey, these are y'all delegates, and they did everything for you that would benefit you, white supremacy. They did nothing for us. We did not consent to that. So you put them out there, and now you make laws to force us under your jurisdiction, and we got to go along with it? No, we got to stand up and come back to the Most High God. He's going to bring you people down. Let's keep watching.
So whatever your reasons, if you step out of line, it's got nothing to do with the person that you offended at that point.
Did you hear that? You hear how dumb that is, man? You didn't do nothing to this, whatever they call a map. They done made a map and draw some lines on it, some dividing lines on it, and they marked their territory like Trump is doing now. He's changing the lines on the map to change his jurisdiction over certain neighborhoods, right? That's the same thing the judge is doing. You have nothing to do with where you live or reality, because we are forced to live in their reality, which makes them rulers over us. They're still ruling over us without our consent. And they're saying, well, we didn't give you consent. You forced us to assimilate under your jurisdiction. And the Most High is delivering us, and we suffer the birth pains, but you're going to suffer the destruction. Let's watch. That's the stupidest thing anybody can say. These judges, you have nothing to do with it. Now you got to do what these people who got these big guns tell you to do, and that's the law. That's legal. That's the law. That's righteous. That's the law of the land. God set it up like this. You're a damn lie.
Got to do with the people saying you breached public peace, dignity, and order. And we can't allow that to happen. So,
because that means they're not in control of you if they don't come and say, hey, straighten up, get up, stand up against that wall. Don't you be mad at him. Hey, right here, hey, well, we're going to lock you up. You pushed your boyfriend. We're in control of that. We didn't like seeing that. So, yeah, you violated us. You hurt us. You harmed us, Gwendolyn, right? You harmed me. You harmed Mom. They harmed me. We harmed them, right? We living our life, ain't bothering nobody. They look over and see us in an argument, see the woman pushing her boyfriend. You harming me. You harming me. You harmed me. You harmed me. Get him. Get her. She harmed me. White man. Look at the way she pushing it. It's going to make my wife think she can do it. You harming me. You harming our families. Damn stupid judge.
what goes on, and this is something people really get freaked out about it, because I had to do it a time or two. I don't want to testify. I think he's been punished enough. She's been punished. No, that's not the point. The prosecution wants to go forward. So if you're not willing to commit yourself to showing up, then the court will have you taken into custody as a material witness. So
that's a material witness. Okay, you can call. You say, okay, I'm gonna force you to say what I want, but that ain't how I feel. That ain't what I seen. I'm gonna force you to say it, or I'm gonna lock you up. That's that plea bargain shit, right? I'm gonna force you. Hear what he just said? I can force you to lie, and if you don't lie, if you don't say what I tell you to say, we're gonna give you some charges. That's the most wickedest thing that's in the Bible. False witness and bearing false witness. Judge, you are crazy, you old, and the Most High is going to destroy you. And you're going to feel, you think you're in pain now, you're going to feel more pain after you leave here than you ever imagined. We just put that scripture out there. Look, it's out there. We warning you. We warning you. The Most High is coming for you and all your buddies, wherever you at, in Memphis.
You can be compelled to testify in this matter on behalf of the people.
They cannot force him to testify that he was harmed. She pushed him is not a crime. She had to harm him physically. You made a law saying if somebody touched somebody against their will, then that's a law. That's called assault. He still have to bring the charges and say it injured him. The state can't say, well, you injured him. Prove it. You stupid judge.
Of the state of Tennessee. And if the court is nice, it might set in a material witness bond so you can make that bond to assure that you show back up until you...
See, all of those things are tactics they use to force you under that jurisdiction, that bond, that material witness. What happened to pleading the fifth? What happened to turning into a hostage witness? No, she didn't harm me. I'm doing fine. That's the way she do. I let her push me like that all the time at home. Now you got to really say, well, okay, well, you injured our people, our peace. Now show me. Now that's what you got to prove. And when you can't prove that, then you can't prove it. You can't prove it. Sometimes it takes 20 years to prove PTSD. And, you can't prove that in a sensible court. In a sensible court. You can't prove that I was sitting over in the seats at the airport and I saw her push him, and I'm having nightmare sweats and I'm scared all the time. I'm scared black women gonna come push me. You can't. This is stupid. This judge is stupid. And if I was her, I wouldn't even hang with nobody like that. All praises to the Most High. Y'all get the message. This is what y'all got to start thinking. Y'all got to start thinking like this. They have no jurisdiction over you. And you claim it. And if everybody's saying the same thing at once, then we can take our identity back. Because the Bible said that they are going to say these are in the land of our captivity all over. You are the sons of the living God. And that ain't going to happen by us claiming false identity. We Negro, black, and colored, and they have jurisdiction over us. They're not going to say it until we start saying that we are the sons of the living God and this is our land. Oh, this is Northern King. This is Gasland. We are one, on one stick. We came together as one, the north and the southern nations of Israel. That's who we are, and they know it. All praises to the Most High.